Hello, everybody. My name is Kathy Sorbara, and today I am here with Mary Trescott and Jack O'Sullivan, and we're going to talk to you a bit about LinkedIn today. So we chose LinkedIn because it is such an essential part of your job search, and I think it's one of those things that now PhDs realize they have to get done, but they don't know the intricacies involved in it and the steps you really have to take to get noticed on LinkedIn, because it's not just about having the profile anymore. It's really become such a complex system now. There's so many different algorithms involved. There's so many little things that you can do to really get noticed and get recruiters looking at your profile. So we're going to touch on 3 things today that we think are really important to have recruiters and hiring managers view your LinkedIn profile. But if you want to hear more, today we're doing a free public webinar on LinkedIn. It's at 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, and I have the link to register for the webinar in this post. So please join us tonight. If you have any other questions, you can ask Isaiah and other members of our team who will be there online and in the chat box. And we want you to get your LinkedIn profile in good shape.
Yeah, so definitely don't miss it.
Yeah, it's one of our most popular ones. Yeah, exactly. You can look out for Mary in the chat box. She'll answer all your questions. So I'll start with Jack. Maybe Jack, you can talk to us about something that you see a lot of PhDs doing wrong on LinkedIn, maybe that they're not noticing and what they can improve upon.
So one thing that happens over and over again is we talk to PhDs and they say, oh, I've got a PhD in physics or engineering or in biology or any PhD. And they say, I will take a job anywhere. Where can I get a job? I'll take any role. And they think, because I'm so open, because I'm open to everything and I'm targeting all these different roles that I can do, I'll surely have a better chance of getting a job. And we know that that's not the case. Actually, being like that and having too broad a focus on your LinkedIn is actually going to make you look, people are going to look at your LinkedIn and unsure of how you would fit into a role. They're not, you want people to look at your LinkedIn and see exactly how you're going to fit into the role. So if you're looking at getting into R&D, make sure R&D is on your profile. R&D scientist, those words should be there, because when recruiters come along to search for their R&D scientist, they're going to put that exact wording into LinkedIn, and your profile won't show up there no matter how good it is if that wording isn't there. So make sure you're using the keywords for the position. So you could, even if you're considering a couple positions, that's okay. You say considering MSL, medical liaison, client-facing positions at the moment, and have that at the bottom of your profile. Just make sure it's targeted in and you're using the language that you see in the jobs that you'd like to do.
Yes. Yeah, that's so brilliant. I mean, we can't stress this enough, because recruiters and hiring managers, they're not your career coach. They're not going to look at your profile and be like, oh, I think this person would be really good in project management. They're going to look for those keywords and then hopefully land on your profile. So I love that. That's a great place to start.
The only thing I would say is I think people get really scared to do that. I don't want to put down project manager on my LinkedIn, because what if I change my mind? That's okay. You know, you can, the great thing about industry is you can start a project management job and move to an MSL job. You know, that there is a lot more flexibility in industry than there is in academia about where you go. So I would say just don't worry about it. And if you've got a couple of options, go with it and put it on your LinkedIn.
Yeah. And I mean, your LinkedIn profile is an active document. It's not a published paper. You can always press delete and change it if something happens later on. Yeah. Exactly. Mary, what do you have?
So something that people sort of take for granted sometimes or don't see the importance of is actually including the location. Even if you want to stay in your current location, write that city name, New York, Boston, somewhere in your summary, because that's one of the keywords that recruiters are going to be using to look for your profile. So you want to be found. If you are willing to relocate to, if you're looking in a couple of different cities, you can put those names in the summary and say willing to relocate to, city A and city B. You can even put this in the headline. You really want to convey that you have a focused search and that you are willing to relocate somewhere. And I think that increases your it increases by 33% the chance that you're actually going to be found when someone's looking to fill positions in those cities. So it's really important.
And I mean, the three of us were just talking to a recruiter last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she told us one of her nightmare stories is, trying to figure out whether or not somebody's actually serious about moving somewhere. And when they just say willingness to relocate without mentioning a city or mentioning 20 cities, which I guess would be the opposite side of the scale,
Right.
they can't tell whether or not you're serious about moving. And they don't know what you're passionate about, where your motivation is. Are you willing to just pick up and go to Boston if you're given a job there? So it's all about making their life easier, really. So
Yeah.
then they come across your profile, they know what you want.
And that, can I just add, that's also helpful if you're trying to build your network in that other city, because people are more likely to connect with you and have conversations with you if you have an interest in being in the city where they're currently located. So you really want to make that clear.
I think that's a really good point, Mary. I mean, it's all about being able to quickly see why you're connecting. Recruiters, their greatest asset, the thing that they don't want to spend them is time. They want to be able to quickly match you to a position. And that's the same with all the rest of your network as well. They want to quickly understand why you're connecting. Oh, Mary wants to move to Canada. That's why she must be reaching out. So I think that's really good advice.
Yeah. Awesome. I think I'm gonna go for maybe the obvious one, but the not so obvious one, and that's the profile picture. I think it's something that I see a lot of cheeky scientist associates leave till the last minute. So they'll say, well, I'm going to do my headline and my summary and my work experience first, and then eventually, I'll get that photo updated. But you really don't want to do that, because as soon as you start polishing your LinkedIn profile, people will start landing on your page.
Yep.
And if they land on your page and it's a picture of you in the lab, a selfie, somewhere where you're clearly cutting out someone that was beside you, it doesn't matter how much more you update that page, they'll have a bad impression of you, right? So it's literally like, how do you want to see yourself walking into a job interview? What's that kind of personal image that you want to relay? So that would literally be the first thing that I would do when I'm working on my profile, is to get that picture in shape. Get it done professionally if you can. If you can't, get a friend that has a really nice camera, so there's no shadow. I believe they say it's always from here, kind of shoulders up, and dress like an industry professional. Put on that suit, put on those business clothes that you have.
And don't forget to
really
smile.
Yes, smile, look approachable, make people want to connect with you. Absolutely, yeah.
And don't put the image in black and white, actually. I have read some studies that say you come off as more personable when the photo is in color as opposed to being in black and white. So you might seem like maybe it's a bit fancier, but you really want to go for that color image as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Anything else, Jack or Mary? Or are we all just gearing up for the webinar tonight?
There's a lot of stuff in the webinar, I think.
Yeah, if you found even a second of this helpful, you have no idea what you're missing if you don't sign up to the webinar, because we cover everything in a really significant detail. And LinkedIn is going to be the tool that will really help you get hired more than your resume or anything else. I think a lot of people focus in to all the other aspects of their job search, but really your networking is going to be it. And how everyone does networking nowadays is through LinkedIn. So if you don't have one, get one. And don't worry, we'll show you everything, where to start and how to do it. It's actually not that scary. And there's a lot of new things like hashtags that we need to talk about. These are brand new. There's a lot of changes to Facebook or to the LinkedIn algorithm, and you're going to have to know these. So we have worked with the experts in this field, and we're excited to bring you all the new content.
Yeah, there's always something new. We're always learning new things, and we like to share it with you. So yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Well, we'll see everybody tonight. Well, I say tonight because I'm in Europe, but afternoon or evening, depending on where you are, 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern time for that LinkedIn webinar. Thanks, Jack and Mary.
I'll be there at 1. See you there.
See you there.
Bye-bye.
Bye.